Hello and welcome to my top 5 bad trips, my top 5 most terrifying psychedelic experiences. If you've been watching my stuff for a while, it's quite clear that I've had quite a few dodgy psychedelic experiences, hence the reason I'm fucking a bit fucking weird, a bit fucking nuts. But I've had some real good times too, don't get me wrong. I've had some of the best times of my life taking psychedelics, but like they're more of a personal memory and it's not really funny. I think it's going to be better for you if I tell you about the times I like almost shit my pants mentally, shit my brain pants. Yeah, things got heavy, things got deep. Now I love psychedelics, I don't want to diss them. I believe that they hold the key to the understanding of yourselves. I believe they hold the key to the understanding of the universe. I know it sounds like hippy dippy bollocks, but it's true. I love them. But I'll talk about that another time. Today, I want to focus on my top 5 most disturbing psychedelic experiences. So without further ado, let's begin.
Number 5. The pirate ship was not all that it seemed.
Let me set the scene. It's a festival, a small festival, and it's early hours of the morning. Like most people have filtered away, there's no more music on, and there's a few like scragglers crawling about, one of them including me. I've took like a fucking bucket load of acid. When I say a bucket load, like a couple of drops, but that's quite a lot in the world of acid. It's potenty fucking shit. So anyway, I'm crawling through this field and to me it's water. I don't know, I'm on a water one. Sometimes you go on a fire one or whatever. This one was water, like the long grass was flickering and twiddling and whoosh, and I'm fucking frolicking and flickering and what the fuck am I doing? I'm having a good time. But in the distance I see a ship, a pirate ship. Well, that's what I thought. And I got excited. I was like, I've always wanted to be a pirate. I've always wanted to live that lifestyle. Well, I didn't know I did until that exact moment, and that was it. I'm a pirate now. Well, I had to get to the ship. It was the other end of the ocean, but I could make it if I walked that way. That was my thinking. So I started to walk through the ocean, and and finally I reached the ship, and there's like a little window thing in it, and I look in there, and there's a dude, and he's staring at me. And I'm staring at him and I'm thinking, come on in mate, are you going to invite me on ship? Are you going to make me walk the plank? What's the deal here, brother? But he just stared at me. I could sense he thought I was a bit of a fucking weirdo. And then I realised it was an ice cream van. And there was no pirates and shit, and I fucked it, hadn't I? So I was like, shit, what do I do? And he goes, what do you want, mate? And I should have said an ice cream, but I said 40 green ones. Now, I don't know if he knew what I meant, but he just went, yeah, okay mate, that would be 40 quid. And I didn't know what to do with that. I kind of just broke. I was like, 40 green one, 40 quid, 40 quid. And we had this awkward kind of like head fuck. Well, he probably wasn't having a head fuck. I was melting inside. I was melting. I was like, 40 green ones, what the fuck? And we stared for a bit, and then I sheepishly just walked away, and I turned away. I just turned away. I just went bye, and then I just walked off, and then I couldn't process that. There was no pirates, there was no ship, there was no water. This fantasy world I had imagined just crumbled to shit under 40 green ones, and yeah, that sent me on a bit of a bad one for about 5 hours.
Number 4. I was going to freeze to death.
Allow me to set the scene. Me and my mate had gone to a small festival and we wanted to take some acid. We spent the whole time looking for acid. Then we found this geezer who was like, and I've got acid. I went, oh, he's our guy, he's definitely the guy we've been looking for. So we go up to him and say, you know, a bit of acid? He said, yeah. So and then like, usually they give it to you on a cube or something. This fucking fucker wanted to just drip it in our mouths. Now, not recommended, because like you're meant to have a drip or whatever, and the geezer's just gone, and I'm like, whoa, wow, fuck me. It felt like I was having a swig of squash. Needless to say, I started to trip pretty hard. The problem was, it was getting dark and I only had a t-shirt. I hadn't planned to stay or nothing. I was coming there for the day, and I didn't think anything through because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, you probably know this, but with night comes coldness, and I started to get chilly, and I said to my mate, as I'm like starting to trip, are you a little bit cold? And he went, yeah. And then it hit me, I'm gonna freeze to death while tripping. And the fear, like, sunk in. I was like, I've heard freezing to death hurts. I've seen frostbite in the documentaries. It's gonna be a cunt. So, what did I do? Well, I panicked, didn't I? I freaked the fuck out. We started saying, right, we gotta get warmth, because we can't enjoy a good trip without warmth. But every second passed, I started to trip more, and warmth become a thing in the distance that I was never gonna get. All of a sudden, we find a fucking shop that sells blankies and like camping gear and shit. So I was like, go on, mate, go and get us a blankie. And he was like, no, you go and get it. I was like, no, I can't fucking get it. I'm losing the ability to fucking use me mouth. I can't. So we ended up just staring at these blankies, these warm creators as we saw them, for about like 20 fucking whatever it was. And in the end, we realised we ain't gonna go in there. We're gonna freeze to death. So I used my last energy to like ring me old man. I was like, Dad, I've took acid. And I'm freezing to death. He's like, son, what the fuck are you on about? I said, no, mate, seriously, as I said on the tin, I've took acid and I'm about to freeze to death. And he was like, for fuck's sake. So anyway, he come and got me. Emergency pickup, saved my son from freezing to trip death, whatever. Anyway, so next thing I know, we're in the back of a car with my dad and his girlfriend, and the change in like scenery was a head fuck. A second ago I was at a festival with bongo drums and people grooving and that. Yes, I was freezing my bollocks off, but it was a happy vibe. Now I'm in a car with like my dad, who's like thinking, what the fuck's going on here? My dad's girlfriend, who's like, what the fuck's going on here? And me and my mate in the back fucking hitting the peak pretty hard right now. Everything's going whoosh, whoosh, blah, 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 blah. And it was fucked. Like seriously, man. Anyway, so that car journey like lasted for ages, and we got back in the end. When we got in the house, I remember plonking on the sofa with me and my mate, and we started to chill out. It was like, whoa, this living room's a bit funky, isn't it? Anyway, my dad's girlfriend comes over with a pot of like chocolatey trifle shit, and she comes up to me and she's like, do you want some of this? And honestly, the last thing I could have felt like doing was eating a chocolate trifle. I didn't even understand the concept of a chocolate trifle. It was like, I kind of wanted to look at it, that would have been fun, but she wanted me to eat it. So I tried to work out the situation, and I politely said, no, sorry, I couldn't eat that right now. Now she thought I meant, because she knew I was tripping, that I couldn't physically eat it, as in I was incapable of lifting my hand up and scooping it out. That's not what I meant. I meant I just couldn't do it. But she thought, no, not to worry. And do you know what she did? She did the fucking, here comes the aeroplane, scoops the trifle, starts doing all this in my face, and I am whooping out. Next thing I know, I've got a fucking mouthful of chocolate trifle, and I'm going, and she's going, oh yeah, here comes the other one. Next one in, I haven't even swallowed the first one, and I'm chewing on the second mouthful of chocolate trifle. It's fucking falling out my mouth. My mate's looking at me. It was like, this is on the verge of me like freaking out. I was like, blur the trifle out my head, and then I rushed for the exit, and I'm outside, and I've got chocolate trifle everywhere, and then I found an ant's nest. Here's where the trip picked up, actually. It was lovely. There was like an outside lamp like shade. It was beaming onto a fucking massive ant's nest. Me and my mate, we sat there for like what seemed like, I don't know, an eternity, like examining the ants. It was amazing. They're like little humans. Well, they got a society with little worker goons going going to work for the man, while some like government queenie bitch just sits there going whoosh, whoosh, and they just do what they're told without thinking or questioning anything. They just crack on, and that was cool. So yeah, I don't recommend chocolate trifle on acid, but I do recommend ant nests.
Number 3. Attack of the Old Fuckers.
Okay, this one was a mushroom trip, and it was me and my mate. Like, we went out into the country, into the middle of like I don't know where it was, but it was all green and beautiful, and it was lovely. We found this little like secluded area where we like sat there and we like picked daffodils, and like, sounds quite girly actually, but when you're tripping it's cool as fuck. Anyway, we were having a great time, and it was all cushy. All of a sudden, like we thought we were in some safe zone. It was kind of ours, but then two old people just came into where we were. I don't know where the fuck they came from, like walking on their little sticks. Like, to be honest, it didn't really freak me out. I was just like a couple of old people. But my mate was like, shit, who are these fuckers? We gotta go. And all of a sudden I was like, shit, we gotta go. I don't know why we had to go. A couple of old people, like, we didn't have to go. We could have just stayed there. But in that moment, we had to go. So next thing I know, we're shooting this way and the panic's kicking in. And we're off. We find this fence. We cling over this fence. We turn around. There's another couple of old people. And they're everywhere. It's like Dawn of the fucking Dead here. That's the sound effect of the old people. I don't know if you got that, but hopefully you did. Anyway. So we're running down this fucking lane. We got old people to the left of us, old people to the right of us. Here I am, stuck in the middle of these old people, and we're going that way, and my mate just turns around to me and he just goes, tampons. No, exactly, I just froze like that. Everything just went whoosh, whoosh. What do you mean tampons? Like, tampons couldn't have been any further from my mind than anything else. Like, all I wanted to do was get away from these old people. They were gaining on us, they were coming, and my mate just goes, tampons. Now, it melted me. I started thinking about, why did he say tampons? What are tampons? Oh yeah, that's what they are. Why do we live in a world where tampons are a thing? Who designed that? Is God a prankster? Is he? Got a bit of gas there, sorry guys. The point is, it melted me, and to be honest, when we got around the corner, I was like, what do you mean tampons? He's like, what? And he couldn't explain. He was just like, what fucking... Anyway, next thing I know, more old people are coming. We are surrounded by old people. All I'm thinking about now is tampons, but he's got the fear of the old people again, so he's running about, fucking trying to get over there. I'm still thinking, why'd you say tampon, mate? Why did you say tampon? I don't understand. So anyway, we find another secluded area. We hide in there and we're chilling. And I remember my mate was lying on a log, and he's like chilling there, and we kind of get our breath. That I reach into my pocket, I find a packet of crisps, and I open one and I put one in my mouth. It's really weird. I don't know if you've ever eaten strange food when you're tripping. It's a bizarre thing. What the fuck is that? Anyway, I thought it's only polite to offer my friend one, so I said, oi mate, do you want a frazzle? And that was it. He lost it for about like an hour. He just couldn't handle that information. He couldn't handle that. Do I want a frazzle? What the? And he was just laughing at the word frazzle for hours, and yeah. So that was a fun day.
Number 2. Bucket of animal piss.
Okay, so this is a mushroom one as well. This was back when I was like 16 or something. My dad, he used to live on an abandoned farm, so there was a house on the top of the hill, and down the bottom there was like all this farmland that we were allowed to chill on. Anyway, it's like the hottest day of the year, beautiful clear blue skies, everything was perfect. We thought, let's take a load of mushrooms. Excellent. Everything was going smooth as shit. It was fantastic. We were sitting in the farm, all of us tripping, having a great time. We were about hitting the peak. Shit was going mental. Anyway, I found this sofa, and it was outside, and I sat on it like this, and I just leant back, and I started going in deep. Like, it was wonderful. I started like making love to my spirituality. I was like, my third eye was going one to one to one to one. I was in the zone. Everything was cushy. Now my other mate, he wasn't quite on the same level as that. He was tripping his bollocks off, but he was being a mischievous wanker. So he sneaks up behind me, and he's only gone and found a big bucket of freezing cold farm water full with chunks of horse shit and cow cum and lumps of hair or whatever the fuck else was in it. And he's decided it's a great idea to come behind me and just fucking splonk it over my head. Now, I cannot express the change in my mood. It went from heaven on earth to fuck! Like, I couldn't process it. It was like, it took my breath away. There was a clunk of shit in my lips. I turn around, there's me mate. He's just like, and his face was all warping, and he's my best mate, yeah? I wanted to punch his fucking head in. I've never wanted to punch someone so hard in my life, and I'm tripping. You shouldn't want to punch someone when tripping, and I couldn't process that information. My brain was going, so I just had to fucking leave. I just went, and I found this abandoned car, and I crawled on top of the roof, and I just lied there in the blistering sun, getting cooked, spasming, covered in farmyard shite for about 5 hours. So yeah, that was a horrible fucking day.
Number 1. When the duck said goodbye.
Right, number 1 of the worst psychedelic terrifying moment in my life was ironically also the same day as the best psychedelic experience in my life. The reason it was so bad is because it was so good, and when the thing that was so good got taken away from me, I couldn't process it, and it's the ducks, innit? Like, you guys know about the ducks. Everyone who knows me knows about the ducks. It's my story. It's who I am. It's part of me. In case you haven't heard it, I'll quickly sum it up quickly. I took a load of acid and I found a family of ducks, and they followed me about. They became part of me. I became part of their family. Honestly, everywhere I went, they'd follow me. It's like I become the daddy duck, and they just chilled with me for hours. And the trip was just about the ducks. I've never felt so connected to another living being in my life. Like, my soul came out of my fucking head and went into the ducks. I was one with the ducks. It was amazing. But where the bad thing comes in, and what set me off on this bad trip, was when they just fucked off. Like, they just fucked off. Like, I don't speak duck. Even though I thought I did on that day, I thought I was speaking fluent duck. I don't speak duck. So they didn't say, look, Danny, mate, right, we got to get back. Like, the kids have got fucking pond in the morning. We got to get out of it. They didn't say that. They just went, and just flew the fuck off. And now, I can't explain to you the fear that went into me, because if you trip before, sometimes you get a thing when you're tripping. Like my mate, he had a toothbrush once, he took it round with him everywhere. That was his thing when he was tripping. It was his thing that kept him sane. Now my thing was the ducks, and my thing had just flown the fuck away, just gone. And I tried to fly after him, didn't I? I was like, but like, obviously I ain't got wings, I've got fucking human fucking things. And I didn't know what to do, because like I was still peaking hard, and because I had no ducks, and I just sat there, and, like, and the fear started kicking. It was really fucking weird, and I ended up walking around a fucking van for like hours, going, where the fuck are the ducks? Where the fuck are the ducks? Where the fuck are the fuck? And then I realised I'd lost the plot. My brain had melted out of my ears, and the duck man was fucked. And yeah, thinking back of it, that was probably my number 1 most terrifying psychedelic experience.
Now for a brief conclusion.
So there we have it. They were my top 5 most terrifying psychedelic experiences. My top 5 bad trips. Now I've had plenty more. They just didn't hit the top 5. I mean, they were freaky as fuck. I might do this with my top 5 most amazing moments and try and tell you about them. But I mean, they're more. The amazing moments are more just what they teach you, as in the inwards of your soul. Psychedelics filter bullshit. That's what I found. They filter bullshit. They make you see through things that you didn't quite see before, like in terms of humanity and the system and people and what people are like. I can't explain it, but it does that, and that's what they do. But when you don't respect them, things go wrong. Like, there's certain factors that, and sometimes it's out of your control. Like, for example, my mate chucking a bucket full of cow spunk on my head. That was just, you know, that was just one of them things. But honestly, I've had more better times than bad times on tripping. I've had some magical moments, and it shaped who I am. And yes, I'm a bit of a lunatic, but I'm a nice lunatic. And I can't trip anymore, which is annoying, because I caned it so hard, and I've learned so much, which is good. But the thought of having a bad trip now, after I've had so fucking many, I just can't be doing with that. I'm at a nice point in my life where I feel sane, believe it or not. I actually do feel sane. I may not come across it, and half the time I play on that fact. I'm not actually mental. You meet me in the street, I'm quite a boring fucker. I'm just like, right, how's it going? Eating a sandwich or something, whatever. But there have been times where I've been like holding ducks in my head, singing to them, la li la li la. Like that was at my peak of my psychedelic honeymoon. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe and help me build my channel up. I would appreciate that. I love you. I've been Danny Hyde TV. Well, I haven't. I've been Danny Hyde, whatever. Fuck it, just see you later.